There have been many game flops in the Hot Wheels racing game genre, mainly for some odd reasons and reasons that were known for according to the critics. But although there is one game that trumps it all, this being Hot Wheels, World's Best Driver, a game in 2013. Developed by Firebrand Games and using their in-house Octane engine, the Scottish developer who were responsible for the DS adaptations of Dirt 2 and Grid and the Trackmania series, East for the DS, and Hot Wheels Track Attack, and published by Warner Brothers Entertainment. The game failed extremely hard, and it received a general unfavorable middling reviews from critics, and was touted one of the reasons why the Hot Wheels game genre died. How can a game from a respected developer who made the DS adaptations of Dirt 2 and Grid and Need for Speed Nitro and Need for Speed Undercover flop so freaking hard? This is what went wrong with Hot Wheels World's Best Driver 2013. Let's talk about it. What is obvious right away is that Hot Wheels World's Best Driver is meant to be on par with the YouTube videos with that has something to do with sports, track trendings and such. Which really didn't make no sense on why would they even do this. It's a total departure from the Hot Wheels racing games with its style, challenges and more. The gameplay is all about testing your skills in 50 plus challenges across 4 Hot Wheels test facilities. Now I do know that it's been played out to 4 friends locally. Although a lot of people said this is completely as pointless as it is. But it might be a little bit more fun if you play with a friend though. But I'm not sure everyone else would agree on this. All you have to do is to gear up for the most intense challenges. Only Hot Wheels can deliver. Pick your team, pick your ride, and go for it. I like that. You have to pick your team, your ride, and just go for it. But what is even the problem? Well, let's talk about one of the challenges that the game has to offer. First, the teams. The teams are pretty limited by the numbers. Here are the teams that you will go for. Red team, outrageous. As playing on the red team, you are able to maneuver various unique, sick, and radical stunts, either with your car or with your bike or ATV. As mentioned from Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, that it introduced us as two vehicle types, ATVs and bikes. Although this isn't the first game, although Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 wasn't the first game to introduce those two vehicles. Hot Wheels World's Best Driver was the first Hot Wheels game to introduce us ATVs and bikes. The previous Hot Wheels game that introduced us a motorbike was Hot Wheels Ultimate Racing, with the introduction of the Hammer Sled. Ed, oh my goodness, what a crazy name for a motorcycle in that game. The bikes in World's Best Driver are Canyon Carver, Street Noz, Track Shredder, whatever the heck that means, and any bike that you might find in that game. Alongside with ATV was some ATVs. One of the ATVs which is Sandstinger. Alongside with a snowmobile. Yeah, snowmobile is quite welcoming, considering the fact that it might be useful for something. But but shocking revelation, it's been used to in the snowy hills. As playing on the red team, you'll be able to chain together tricks that you could chain together out on that you could chain together out on, in courses is in the test facilities. Very great on paper, but it need, but it feels kind of feel very odd and off lately. When doing tricks on a snowmobile or ATV, your racer is doing maneuvering a lot of tricks, but after doing so, when you land, the physics of the driver falls off the ATV or the snowmobile, and it didn't really make no sense to me. So that's one of the oddest things I've ever seen. One of the odd physics I've ever seen in that game. I just did not know. I just completely don't even know why it happened. Maybe it's a bug or a glitch, but nah, it's only the physics. Moving on, you pick yellow team. The yellow team is very powerful, meaning you had to ride with enormous strong vehicles where you'll be able to make mass destruction as much as you like. There is a monster truck in the game called the Hot Wheels Firestorm monster truck. Pretty cool, I think. The monster truck is of course highly welcome, considering that it's usable for crushing cars, like what you see in Monster Jam. That's right. 8. As playing as on the yellow team, as playing as the yellow driver, you'll be able to push other objects into the ocean or in the ice of the water, and also go off road as well. Alongside that, you'll be able to maneuver a special ability. Each team driver has their own maneuver abilities. One that can make you go super fast. One of the abilities makes you indestructible. One of them can combo up your chains and also can also make you feel high tech. Special abilities better to accommodate this type of experience. Nice welcome in addition, but I'm not. But some people might find it pointless. What next? We play as the blue driver. As the blue driver, you'll be able to power slide and drift. Although it is possible if you'll oversteer if you're not careful. It's the drifting physics honestly feels pretty responsive, but feel a little too off though. The game like most games in racing games are heavily grip based. So having the drifting physics feels a little off though. But I'm sure it might feel kind of familiar from one of the previous Firebrand games. That Firebrand has to offer. NASCAR Unleashed has that same drift physics, and honestly, it felt very stiff. So it's no surprise that the drifting physics from NASCAR Unleashed came back, making it extremely stiff. So maybe my only opportunity to do the power sliding is to either use the brake button or what else? Try maybe press the e-brake button to drift. I don't know. But again, the drifting physics needed some more work, and it's just completely stiff. What next? Next, we what we play as the green team. The green team, as the green driver, you'll be able to go supersonic fast, as fast as Sonic the Hedgehog. There are plenty of vehicles for the green driver to use in order for them to go fast. Fast. Which reminds me, let's bring up the car selection. Each car is a veteran or new incomer, all of which were classic retro Hot Wheels from previous games, with an additional of new Hot Wheels models. These included Canyon Carver, Street Nars, Twin Mill, RD04, or a Chicane, Bone Shaker. The list would go on. Yes, the Acceleracers, or by extent, one of the Highway 35 World Race cars, which been marked Hot Wheels Veterans, made its way into the game, and with the addition of new models like Torque Twister and Drift Cane and Loop Coupe. I like the new welcoming additions. So the new models were of course highly welcomed, like Loop Coupe and Torque Twister. But that reminds me, wasn't Torque Twister and Drift Cane on Hot Wheels Track Attack exclusive to multiplayer? I don't know. I still haven't found out if they're both exclusive to Hot Wheels Track Attack's multiplayer. But if anybody responds to me and say they are not exclusive to the multiplayer mode on Hot Wheels Track Attack, please let me know. And I'll buy it because I'm still very curious if they're up there. No, I don't know if Diesel Boy is up there as well. Off topic wise. So what next? Additionally, there are also secret modes. There are also secret challenges where you had to raise a bullet train and do other challenges that might be more impossible to do. But I'm not sure if everybody else did not like this. What went wrong with this game is that the game is a total departure from what made the Hot Wheels games great. It was the racing genre. The Hot Wheels games are all about over-the-top racing action, with or without Mario Kart style power-ups or Top Gear's boost mechanic. This is what's supposed to be. This is what it was supposed to be about. The Hot Wheels game genre is all about the racing, where you can jump, stunt, crash your Hot Wheels car, you name it. Unfortunately, Hot Wheels World's Best Driver would have that same trajectory, right? Sorta. It definitely had that same type of an appeal, but unfortunately, it just fell short in this regard. Actually, what were the negatives? The negatives, you only have to go through a lot of the events, which could be a little bit repetitive after a while, and nobody won't be able to get everything all right because due to some odd problems with the physics alongside with the controls that people might find confusing and more, or they're just being left with a botched experience with Hot Wheels World's Best Driver. Not only that, Hot Wheels World's Best Driver was not only not about racing. It was all about testing your skills on how to go fast, how to do your tricks and stunts, and more. Or, I just want to know what the heck was Mattel even thinking? If they want to make the world's best driver, if they want Firebrand to make the world's best driver video game, they essentially need to be all about racing, not testing your skills. I mean, keep the same amount of cars as it might be a closer successor to might be a closer resemblant successor to somehow to MotorStorm, actually, but with the Hot Wheels branding slapped on it. But not just that. Without traditional gameplay and with no racing, that's outside the green team, where you are just doing racing, but instead you're doing elimination challenges. But nobody else doesn't want to go through a bunch of challenges, and also nobody is not satisfied with the test facility, because it's very bare, and pretty mediocre at best. And not only that, the critics didn't like the game, and the critics did say that the developers did bring in some variety, but it still too fell short. But the toy manufacturer Mattel never learned from their previous mistakes, as when they broke ties with THQ, they gave the Hot Wheels license to Activision and other developers, and none of their games did not go so well. As Mattel did not learn from that mistake either. So that was a big shocker. They have to learn that again. When they find out about Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Stunt Mayhem getting mixed or average reviews later on, and if they did, they won't come crying back to Milestone. It was already too late. Now what would happen next? When somebody makes a new video about Hot Wheels World's Best Driver, as where everybody doesn't even know about the game and wants to play it for old time's sake, everybody's like criticizing it because of the graphics. Considering that Firebrand Games knows the hardware limitations of the 3DS when they stepped into the 7th gen consoles, the 3DS especially, they know how to do their stuff with their 3D in-house graphics engine, 3D Octane. Not to mention that I actually adore what Firebrand brings to the table. Good, actually much good updated graphics, a much more realistic feel. They tried their best, and now nobody didn't like it. Come on, it's not. Come on, at least give Firebrand some credit for even trying. The Hot Wheels World's Best Driver, the game I actually got back in the day. I actually got the game for Christmas back sometime in 2014 or 13. I don't know. But I remember I popped the disc into my PlayStation 3 and then played it, and my mother was like surprised, like there's a motorcycle in there. And that was pretty surprising. Christmas Day of 2014 or somewhere, I played the game with my family, and they were very impressed. Yeah, when I first time play it, I need to know a learning curve, considering the fact it's an arcade style video game. But when I got through the controls, Hot Wheels World's Best Driver was alright for me, but by later I began practicing the controls, and lately I started to play it like a pro. But I'm not sure everybody else are not being like pros otherwise. I'm sure everyone else disagreed about my statement otherwise. The only praises I like for the game is how it has this unique presentation to it. Good, much updated, good graphics, great sense of speed on the green team cars, including Jet Threat 4.0. I mean, Jet Threat was like literally zooming along the long line, and given that it's like a drag car. I mean, how can a freaking successor to Jet Threat 3 just go super fast? Like, uh, also, I have to give Firebrand for some credit, putting some flaming color wheels on the tires. When chaining up, when you reach to chain to times 6, your tires will enter fire mode, which which really gives the cars a much Hot Wheels like vibe. Something this is what would have looked like for Hot Wheels Unleashed today, except have they need to be on fire mode when boosting. But I'm not sure Mattel would allow it, as this would not be a good idea. Seriously, that's limiting creativity. Actually, limiting creativity. I mean, look at Hot Wheels beat that. They they're they have flaming tires out when boosting. And in Hot Wheels World's Best Driver, it has the same output, but instead the tires are being put on fire mode. So honestly, Milestone needs to look at what Firebrand Games did with the fire mode feature, where the tires will go on fire mode when you're boosting. It's a pretty unique idea. Or what else? Look at Mario Kart 8, for example. They somehow follow the same trajectory as if Hot Wheels beat that. That's no surprise. And I like the damage on the Hot Wheels cars. Considering the fact that there are damage restrictions on licensed vehicles, as always, um, the you are able to damage and implement some good damage models on the Hot Wheels vehicles in World's Best Driver. They have some good damage I've ever seen, though it's a little limited, and it's all because the cars aren't real. Jet Threat 4's wings gets broken off. If Luke Coop loses its spoiler, you're able to damage bikes as well. It's very awesome. I wish I had access to Firebrand Games' 3D Octane engine. Maybe I could make a Hot Wheels game there. Maybe this might be a good idea for me. But sadly, I don't think Firebrand ain't gonna be unleashing out its in-house engine at all. And we don't know why though. But the 3D Octane engine is the only opportunity that we have, because some people wants to make their own games with it. But then again, Firebrand Games is private, so I don't think we won't be bothering them with their in-house engine. So so what went wrong with World's Best Driver? Well, the challenges, the lack of no racing, and the atmosphere and the open world it presented really wasn't a good idea. Really wasn't a good thing for everyone. And as much as I like Hot Wheels World's Best Driver, for everyone, Hot Wheels World's Best Driver feels like feels like a cheap ass way to waste a Hot Wheels license, and it feels like a more of a practice, a arcade style practice video game, not an arcade style racing game that it was supposed to be named for. Will be the world's best driver. Seriously, it literally failed, and would be the last game being produced by Firebrand Games, possibly their last Hot Wheels game as well. And with that, what happened to the Hot Wheels game genre? Sadly, it moved to mobile gaming. Meaning this is where the Hot Wheels games' dark age began, before 2021. Later, they made Hot Wheels Infinite Loop and other Hot Wheels games like Hot Wheels Unlimited and more. Over on Roblox, Mattel teamed up with GameFam to model out and make a Hot Wheels open world game on the Roblox platform. By 2021, Mattel began working for Milestone to make a revival of the Hot Wheels game genre, starting with Hot Wheels Unleashed, which brings back and it traces back to the same trajectory as 2007's Hot Wheels Beat That. Some people today find it a direct sequel to that game, although it was completely downgraded with no power-ups. Then Mattel and Milestone both celebrated with Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharge, and previous of the Hot Wheels World's Best Driver cars joined in the game, like Canyon Carver and Street Noz and Stan Stinger, and the Drift Cane. Then Mattel made the fatal mistake by partnering up with Game Mill to make Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Stunt Mayhem. What would happen next with the Hot Wheels games? We'll just have to see where it goes. Hot Wheels World's Best Driver tried to be an arcade-style video game that focuses on skill and challenges that the player has to go for. But it really did not go well for nobody. And it's a real shame. Not only was it a fun, polished, great game in my opinion, in my vision, but I feel like it needs to be focused more on racing. And also, why can't Firebrand just go back to how they did their games with just the racing, and not just having Mattel to follow suit on making a game focusing on just challenges. They should have just focused more on racing. Have an arcade mode for God's sake. Have an arcade mode and have a lot of environments like a real Hot Wheels city to race in, so where we could have some fun. And also, why not have a track builder? Those are my only thought ideas. But then again, it might go wrong or not. Again, that was 2013, and I literally did not know how the Hot Wheels game genre just died back then. I mean, I did not know that there were no Hot Wheels games during the mid to late 2010s. I mean, I was just sticking with Hot Wheels Beat That since it was my favorite racing game. But alas, I did not know it died like that. With Hot Wheels World's Best Driver being the worst Hot Wheels game, it's been marked the first worst Hot Wheels game of the bunch. Followed suit after there was Hot Wheels All Out 2006, which that failed and was the second worst Hot Wheels game. For the third and fourth, Hot Wheels Beat That, despite being the best Hot Wheels racing game, and Hot Wheels Monster Truck Stunt Mayhem, which is the fourth. So that leads us before worst Hot Wheels video games in the Hot Wheels game genre. It's a real shame because Hot Wheels Beat That didn't deserve this, and it really deserved much better. Thank you guys all for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments what you think about Hot Wheels World's Best Driver. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.